Hey,
There we go.
Okay, well, better late than never.
There we go.
Okay, so we know the motion.
We know the motion.
Made and seconded. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, those in favor, since it's already been operationalized, we better approve it. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? I'll take it that was a late aye, not a no.
She's got a sound delay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
No,
It was
Thank you
physics.
so much. Oh
It
my
was
God.
physics. Okay,
Uh,
January minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Move to approve.
Seconded.
Okay, any corrections, comments or clarifications? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
I'm going to combine the president's report and the executive committee report. The executive committee had a couple of things, one of which is in the folder as a bylaws amendment that Phil proposed at bylaw and policies and bylaws has endorsed to tighten the language of the mission statement. Is not substantive change in the mission statement at all. It's merely to change the phrase maintaining an active internet presence to across the internet, and changing the phrase shall respect and shall serve to just respects and serves. I apologize for not putting that in until earlier today. If you want more time to reflect on it, and put it off till next meeting, that's fine. We don't have to approve these things until the April meeting, but this is kind of just a editorial tightening, which, as I say, policy and bylaws and executive have both recommended. So is there any?
I just think they're redundant. I don't care. I
What's
mean,
redundant?
the additions? I mean,
No,
I don't
no, it's
think they add anything.
Clarification.
well, maybe you're misunderstanding. We're changing.
Internet presence across the internet.
No.
that's just being removed.
No, we're
Right.
changing the phrase across the internet we're changing the phrase maintaining an active internet presence to maintain to across the internet. This,
Yeah, I read it.
Let me say.
Like maintaining an act. I mean,
no,
I just don't even know what that means. I mean,
hang on.
all internet.
Hang on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading it.
I think it means maintaining an active presence across.
Yeah, I if I can just jump in, I don't think the document Stu shared has the language that should have been struck through.
It's being edited.
We're gonna get there together.
Well, I'm glad I said something.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I saw the proposed amendment. It was very much clearer.
Yeah.
When I last read it, I understood it.
I did too. I like
the strikes did not translate when I
So this doesn't have to be done today.
it does not have to be done today.
Then why don't we bring it up
Fine.
next
Fine.
with a
Fine.
clean document?
Fine.
There's also
I didn't
other
mean to be difficult.
implications to
It's
change
fine.
your
you're
mission
right.
statement,
None of us
even minorly.
Say again?
Assumed it was still right.
There's other implications to changing your mission statement beyond just changing the mission statement. You
Which
have
are?
to refile it with the state, possibly the IRS.
Really?
We have to obviously change our website. The lobby poster would have to be remade because that would also be wrong.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that would have to be done if the mission statement changes. Mission statements are generally made and then not messed with for this very reason,
Okay.
because we have to submit that mission statement
Okay.
to a lot of government organizations.
Good input.
We did that when we made those last changes.
So like, yes, we did
Okay.
all of that,
Okay.
and we just changed it like what, 5
Okay.
years ago.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
I'm worried about just making minor changes when we
Arguing
have to
past
do
yes.
all of these
You're
other
arguing
things
past
as
yes.
a result.
You're
It
arguing
just makes a
past
lot of
yes.
work for me.
We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it.
Yeah.
Phil, I think from an editorial perspective, your edits were good, but from an operational and perspective, they may not be worth the hassle. So, but that's something we can discuss at the next meeting. But I think Doug raised some very legitimate concerns which we were not aware of. which is why we have you at this meeting.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
this is the first I heard of it.
Okay, okay, the other thing that executive did, okay, the other thing executive did was we did authorize 3 to 4 people to go to the training that Jeff referenced, that I put the flyer in, but with only 2, so who is interested in and somebody's gotta be monitoring the chat, because I can't see that far.
Understood.
Bill said understood.
Okay,
We
yeah.
give us some content.
So are any other board members interested in, well, we've got Nicole and Dan signed up. Are any other board members interested in going to those? It's 3 days, it's 3 Tuesdays.
It's actually like all 4 Tuesdays.
Oh,
The
it's
first, 15th and 29th,
Okay, so it's every Tuesday.
Every other week.
every other.
1, 15 and 20, so it's 3 Tuesdays in
April.
April. So are any other board members interested in signing up for that training?
I'm interested but not available.
Yeah, same.
Let me rephrase, anybody interested and available? Seeing that, well, I'll have, I'll,
Charlie's here.
okay,
Yay.
well, I mean, I've got classes that, well, does the board authorize either Dan and Nicole at 75 each, or a group rate at 200, and we'll see how it plays out? We've got, is there a consensus to?
Why don't we make a motion just to approve up to $200 of
Okay.
expenditure on board training?
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion on that? And if anyone is interested, let me know ASAP, because there is a limited number of spots, so we should, also, I think I may have to put this on my credit card and then file for reimbursement. So I want this approved on the record before I do that.
There's a form for that.
Is there a form for that? Okay.
Basically a template.
I mean, a reimbursement form?
Yes,
Okay, but I saw, I mean, but
I
I,
threw one out for you.
okay, so I may have to do that, because I think that's the only way to, okay. Any discussion on that? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Okay, thank you. We've gone through the retreat and notes. Okay. Nicole, this treasurer's report at all.
I missed the meeting because last week was hell. But to update, at least as far as I go, met with Mary Joy today. Audits will be done by the time big audit comes. Like my part, I'm very confident in that. Mary Joy is an excellent teacher, and once we got me into Summit, that will be good. The rest of it looked good. And the kind of bigger discussion I know is that I'm supposed to run the finance committee meetings according to the bylaws. This might be a bigger discussion later, but if we could change that so that if we have, because as I think Susan said, we're like the drummer from Spinal Tap as far as treasurers go, where we just keep exploding. So if we could change a bylaw where, like, just like every other committee, you can vote to who is running your meetings, that'd be sick. Because I personally don't feel the most confident in running any of those meetings right now. I understand that was part of my job, and I'm very grateful that they're helping me out with this.
I have a question on
Hang
that.
on, let her finish her report.
But
No, I mean, on this
Yeah.
issue,
Okay, well, let her
Yeah.
finish. She was in the middle.
Sure.
I just talk a lot, so it was a
do the bylaws actually say the treasurer has to run the meeting?
Say the chair of the meeting.
They
Well,
can-
okay, but a chair can always designate, in my opinion, someone else to run the meeting,
okay.
okay?
can
You
be
would still
silent
be
chair.
nominally the chair, okay?
I want to be a
So which would mean we don't have to change the bylaws,
Something else.
but you're
Yeah.
designating whatever, could be one of the other members, staff boys, Mary Joy, which may be the best person to run it.
Yeah, maybe she
Um,
needs some.
Yeah.
So
Or maybe-
If I could,
that's the way I feel
Mhm.
in terms of every board I've ever been on in committee chairs.
That's
Or
if I could interrupt a little bit here. I was in a very similar position just a few months ago, Nicole. And, and both Susan and Mary Joy stepped up and guided me through it. In fact, ran the meetings. We didn't have to change the bylaws.
Fantastic.
It works.
Those
So
women are incredible, so we will.
you're absolutely right in that regard.
Yeah.
Do we have consensus on the board that we're comfortable with the discussion that has just ensued?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Make it so.
Awesome, I will
Easy.
do that. Thank you. So yes, so I will rely on those wonderful women this month about the reports that they have issued, which is great. And if you have questions, I will definitely bring it back.
Yeah.
And then you're still the chair, so if it goes off the rails, you can shut it down.
There you go.
Horses train.
It can take a while to get your feet underneath you.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
take a leadership position.
And if
so.
there's anything else, you delegate until you feel comfy and then
Okay.
Or ask all the questions.
not help.
Laura,
Yeah, I still had something I want, because I did attend the finance committee meeting, and I wanted to just mention that we talked a lot about about our budget and not really having a way to do a long range budget, otherwise known as a capital budget. So we are going to be adding that there. So we will actually have two budgets, and the capital budget will include those items like the roof repairs, or let's say we need to have a new transmitter, the long range items that we need usually to invest considerable amounts of money into, should go into this capital budget. I also discussed depreciation has been a topic. It's been brought up at the board meetings too. Depreciation is usually used for tax purposes, from what I understand. But what we're really talking about here at WORT is the life expectancy for various items in that capital equipment budget. And so I talked at length with Tom personally about and came up with a little bit of a document too about methods that I've used in the past when I was in charge of engineering at WSUM, but to come up with life expectancies for equipment and for property. So we're well on our way in this regard. But it's amazing that we've operated this long without such a budget. Thank you.
Shoestringing it.
I approve of that concept.
Does anybody, thank you, Laura, does anybody have anything they want to say or ask about anything that's in the finance committee report or the documentation? The graph is going up, which is nice.
And I love your plan to get everything reviewed.
Yeah.
And we have changed some of the accounts, but we need to change some more.
And are we actually finally going to get money into the Super Saver account? It feels like it's
Yeah.
I've heard about that for a year.
a long time. I don't understand why it keeps getting put off. I mean, this says by the end of
Yeah.
February, and if that happens, fantastic.
And how,
That's 9 days.
and how exactly does that?
That was the one where we were gonna have you have the keys to it, and it's the Betterment account. We already have one at Ocean View, which we switched over.
Okay.
But then I think it's a matter of just sitting down with Mary Joy and setting it up online. And yeah,
That's
and
simple enough.
and so it's a matter of just pulling out funds from both the Summit and Heartland money market accounts,
Okay.
leaving 50,000 in each of those accounts, and everything that's pulled out put into the Betterment high yield savings.
Okay.
Susan.
Susan.
Yeah, you already had a board meeting, and I can figure out which one, but where you guys directed us to pull that the money that would be pulled would be all but 50,000 from Summit and from Heartland. And we do have everything set up, but Stu, it was just that you and whoever the treasurer was going to be were going to be the ones that set up. It's always online for these accounts because that's how they're able to offer a higher interest rate, because there is no brick and mortar.
Okay, so we get with Mary Joy and find out what to do.
Yeah, I've got all the directions that I was sending to Nicole for this. But it'll vary depending on who you set it up with, but it's really easy. I have one, and it's very easy to set up.
Great. Then Susan, do you have the account numbers of the two money markets where the money's being pulled from?
I do not, but I thought Mary Joy had that.
Right. That's why you need to meet with Mary Joy to get the account numbers.
Right.
of
I
where the
assume
money-
they were, yeah, I assume they were going to meet with Mary Joy because she's going to need that information too of how to find that and keep track of that.
Okay,
Yeah. Thanks, Susan.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
take care of that. So we will take care of that.
I'm sending up an email chain with you, me, and Mary Joy right now, so we can get this going.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else on the treasure, on the finance or treasurer's report activity? If not, they'll stand approved as submitted. Staff reports, we have staff with us. Let's start. Who wants to start? Well, Susan, you want to start with anything you want to bring to our attention?
No, I just really wanted to do a deep dive into the end of the year numbers that Mary Joy had provided, especially for my department. So it wasn't, it's not self-congratulatory. It's pretty direct. This is what I said I was going to do, and this is what my department did for the year. I do want to point out that bad debt, if you haven't read my report, bad debt is mostly unfulfilled pledges, or once in a while we get a bad check from somebody, but that's every 3 years or so when somebody sends us a bad check and doesn't make good on it. So bad debt for us is the unfulfilled pledges, which had headed up and now are back down to about 3% of the total amount of pledges that are made, which is pretty good, but it still amounts to about $8,500 a year that we don't get. So that is something that the auditors get with me, and they ask me to generate a list of unpaid, and then they ask me to guess who's going to pay it. So if you or I is on that list, you or me, Stu, then I say that we're going to pay it, but, and I take our names off, but generally that's how we generate it. So even though it says that we had a certain amount of losses last year, that's actually going to be more than that once we start adding in things. Our expenses shouldn't change significantly. They should be about the same for the year from the profit and loss statement, but the expenses are going to go up. Income is going to stay the same. Expenses will probably go up. So we're going to be more in the hole than we were because those bad debt isn't in there already and some other things having to do that are going to knock us down. So just a heads up that we lost money last year, and it's more than what it says in that current report. And we'll have a final number when the audit's done.
Is the IRA distribution, are those going to continue to increase because of mandatory?
Because so many people are hitting the age where this year it switches to 75 for that. It was 73, but still that's kind of just following our aging donor base. So yes, a lot of those have gone up because people don't want to take the whole by doing that, they can deduct from the amount they earn that year. So I assume they're going to continue to go up. I did not project they would go up by as much as they did, but I've made a real effort through personal phone calls to people, which is one thing that I don't document, how many calls I make a week, and have really encouraged people to switch to those that I know are of an age to take advantage of them.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Susan?
I do want to draw attention to the fact that the new donors, I would take a look at that.
You take a look at that.
Well, I could find a number from, I think it was 2004. I was able to find the number of how many new donors. That's hard to get because none of that information is digitized. But I was able to find that number and some of the things that had been left behind by my predecessors. So you can get an idea when we were really robust and had more of a range back in 2004. You want to be adding about a third of your, if you have 3,000 donors, every year you want to see another 1,000 as new donors. That's the proportion that is considered healthy.
And we're operating about a third of that.
Correct. So I'm really redirecting it. I want to do the challenge grants and stuff to really go out to lapsed donors and to new donors. That's one way, but I do think there really is a problem with the fact it isn't just that we aren't encouraging new donors. It's that I don't think we have a lot of that younger group that generally makes up your new donors, people just stepping in at the graduate school level and giving $40 during one pledge drive. I don't think there's many of those people listening to WORT. And I know people can contest that because we have no hard data, but I think that's the reality.
And that's the challenge of the futures group. I mean, that's what that's supposed to mean.
I think it's directly tied to listenership. I wonder whether we could have a way of targeting streaming listeners. And because I think that is a pretty robust number and a very quantifiable number. I usually address them directly during pledge drive. You know, I literally say, I know
See how many people are
90 of you are streaming right now. Click that donate button, you know. But there's probably other strategies as well.
And also, it's nice to talk about the archives too. Mel and Floyd often encourage people to give in the future. When you're listening to this in the future.
Right. That's a good idea.
There are plenty of Fridays where I tune in after 2:00.
Right.
And
Right.
I listen to their show, start my week.
Okay, anything else? Yeah.
Susan, I really appreciate all of the detail that you put into your report. I did notice that it showed up late, and that can be hard for those of us who are trying to schedule our document review. So thank you so much. And if you could try to get your reports in on Sunday, that helps a lot.
I had 6 months going of having them in by Saturday, so
Yeah.
I apologize. I really do have difficulty. This has been a very challenging pledge drive. I've had to really do more work early because, as I mentioned, Tom is not going to be here for the pledge drive the day before, the day of, or the day after, and that is really throwing a wrench into my usual workload. So I apologize, and I will say you haven't seen me late for over 6 months. So
Yeah, and that's been great. Thank you.
Okay, anything else for Susan? Okay, thank you. I see Shali is with us, so does anybody have any questions, comments on the News Talk and Public Affairs report? And Shali, anything you want to call to our attention in your report?
A rundown on share. I mean,
No, I'm just lurking. Pretend I'm not here.
Okay.
Sally, I really liked that you wanted to share the hiring process checklist with us. I wasn't able to open that link in your report though. It might be a sharing opportunity that we need to get access to it to the board.
Sure. I mean, Julia requested access and I granted it. So if I ever link to something you can access, just hit request and I'll grant it unless I don't want you to see it, but I wouldn't link to it then. So
Super. I always like to see hiring processes. So
it's, I'm happy to share it with you right now.
thank you, Shelley.
Anything else for our award-winning News and Public Affairs department? Okay, saying none. Doug, anything you want to call to our attention on your report?
Not really.
And does anybody have any questions or comments about?
It's busy.
Way to get those new folks back. The new underwriting. Yeah,
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of new underwriters.
that's great.
Totals are looking good. Working heavily on pledge drive food and wart stock simultaneously right now, so that's taking up most of my time.
Okay, is that it on staff we've got with us?
I want to mention one quick thing in the technology report, the engineering report, and that is 4 smoke detectors that are connected to each other that will sound everywhere in the building if one of them is activated. We have had no fire protection per se in the building. And it's about time. It's another one of those about time things. So I'm really glad that Tom took action on this one.
The nose of a dog and smell it.
Thank you. Sybil, anything you want to call to our attention in your report?
I know. And she didn't.
Oh, not necessarily. I can't really look at it at the same time that I'm on my phone, but like Susan, me, Adrian, Tom, well, and I mean, there's Shali has some issues too. All of us somehow or other have been like, God, sick lately and just, really had a lot to deal with because of that. So I just wanted to point out, it's just been really, really hard, but we're doing our best to keep up. Anyway, I would just mention one other thing, and that's that I didn't put in the report that I'm in touch with the Madison Area Music Awards and the Whammy Awards. They had put us onto some kind of, the Madison Area Awards had put us onto some kind of hiatus, saying that, we won so many times for the favorite station that, now we're in the Hall of Fame, but they never did anything. Like, they never had us as part of the ceremony and, officially said anything. So this year, it would be a good year to do it because they can also wish us the 50th. So I think that'll work out fine. And there's still DJs eligible, and programs that can win, but just the favorite radio station, favorite local music station, we're supposed to get a Hall of Fame award, and so I'm gearing up for that this summer.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments for Sybil on our Hall of Fame music programming?
I went last year. It was so fun.
Oh yeah, we saw you.
I know you remember. That was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Phil, and the DEI report. Well, to get in a second. Phil, anything you want to call to our attention on the DEI report?
I think mainly just the fact that the change in federal administration is having a very intentional chilling effect on DEI efforts across the country. And that is something the DEI committee is aware of. And I think we have agreed that the work itself is still worth engaging in, whether we use that title or perhaps try not to paint a target on WRT's exterior.
Go in stealth mode.
Yeah, I think perhaps just continuing to do the work, but not making a big deal out of it is the best path forward at this particular moment in time. And it also sounds, I think Charlie mentioned that the city of Madison is planning something similar to continue engaging in these efforts while being amenable to perhaps not broadcasting it as vocally as they might want it done.
One thing we could do, and I've been thinking a lot about this, the right is very good at creating boogeymen out of words, whether it's woke or DEI or whatever. And it's we all know it's stupid, but it works. So we could do everything we're doing and more, because we should do more, and simply change the name of the committee. Call it Community Involvement Committee, something like that.
We joked about calling it the Freedom Committee.
whatever.
Freedom and Liberty
I
I
Committee.
mean, I don't know.
Make work great again.
Make work great.
Make work
Yeah,
great.
yeah, exactly. It's
So
brilliant.
and you know, it seems silly, but I don't
Rainbow
think
still works for us.
the work is what's important. It's not the name. And in fact, I don't even know who came up once upon a time. It wasn't even that long ago.
No.
15 years ago, nobody even heard of DEI
Mhm.
as a phrase. Doesn't mean work wasn't being done in that issue. So I think it's worth at least consideration of just changing the name of it, but moving forward with the work.
Sybil, were you seeking recognition?
Julia.
Okay, first
No,
was
I
Sybil.
just put something in the chat, was like, I wasn't sure whether I was gonna, there was gonna be a good time to bring it up at the meeting, but I had just been hearing from people at other nonprofits that have more direct, government funding and control, and they're like, gotta change the name of this committee, right away. And, yeah, I think that sounds like a pretty good suggestion. Community. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm really in favor of that idea, because I think I agree that it's very important, is what I'm hearing in the nonprofit world.
Julia and then Doug.
Yeah, to speak to our discussion that we had in the DEI committee on it, that did come up, a name change regarding the committee. And a point was brought up that we didn't want to put a target on our backs and call attention to the work by doing so, by renaming the committee. And not myself, I'm not necessarily speaking as to what my opinion is on it, but yeah, there are a couple different schools of thought on renaming it.
Doug and then Dan.
Yeah, just throw out there that what the CPB did, even ahead of the administration change, was they have a requirement, and it used to be called the diversity statement, that all community broadcasters had to have on their website. And all they did was change the name of the diversity statement to the community representation statement.
Yes.
Community representation would be a fine name for the committee. It's what it is. Making sure that we represent the entire community. It also doesn't raise any red flags, because it's, do you represent your community? There's no real way to darken that term, or to twist it or to spin it.
Yet. Yeah.
Until it becomes an acronym.
Until it becomes an acronym. So please don't ever call it CRI.
Laura.
I just wanted to mention that what Thistle tried to do to the station, the president has done with one broad stroke of his magic marker pen. I do not exist anymore as a classification.
But you exist and are very important.
I just had to say it.
Is the board comfortable doing this now, or do we want to refer back to the committee a recommendation on exactly what term, whether or not to rename it, and if so, what term?
I think it.
Are you seeking recognition?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I would like the committee to consider changing a name and choosing its own name and bring that back to the board.
Okay. We have a full complement of the committee now, which is about to be increased by one new member.
Yay.
Okay, so got something new to do.
Great.
Okay, so the committee will come back, we'll discuss at its next meeting, nomenclature.
I have a discussion point that
Yeah.
I could say before we go back on it, which is I have an opposite and dissenting view of what the committee should do. I think we should keep DEI. I think we should headhunt other DEI committees, and that we should open up the membership to the stray dogs that are being left by the side of the road, and that we will wind up with, and this is a polar opposite strategy, but I believe that we could build a super committee and be that group that
That does not
stood
preamble.
tall and swore, but
I'm not sure what you mean.
what I mean is that we could leave the committee named as it is, and instead of worrying about how we should hide stuff, that we could headhunt the best who are now free agents And so what's going on is that the people that do this and have done it for this is a better time than ever to go out and get people who are experts in this, and they're scared and they don't, as long as they don't mind coming and being around. I feel like being a radio station, that we should build that committee up and talk about it and ask for money while we're doing it. We do all of the things that we, all of what our superpowers as a station are,
You're welcome to attend the next committee meeting.
I'm chairing.
Well, are you chairing the next one?
Yeah, July
Okay.
or March 3rd, 5:30.
Well, you got something on the agenda, Doug, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say it too, that we're a private corporation. We can call ourselves anything we want. We can call our committees anything we want. Nobody's going to take away our funding because we have a DEI committee.
Yeah.
We're not the federal government.
Mhm.
So we don't have to be scared.
Yeah.
The other reason we don't have to be scared is we are so far under their radar.
Mhm.
We're so far under the FCC's radar. They're attacking NPR and PBS because they're going after big ticket. And this comes right from the webinar that you turned me on to this afternoon, because the lawyer from Foster Garvey, who works with all the NFCB stations, said all of this FCC stuff with sending the letter to NPR and PBS, they didn't even contact the individual stations who are the ones responsible for the content they air. Like, community broadcasters are so far under the radar of the federal government that they could give a damn about what we're doing.
But what if they tell the CPB that it can't give money to anybody that's got a DEI committee?
Exactly.
That's
he's
what
doing it with schools.
At this point, it
University.
hasn't happened. CPB is on top of it,
Okay,
but this is not like a red button issue right now, is what I'm saying.
I think maybe the thing to do is for the committee to discuss it, to come up with a consensus on is there a reason to change the name now? And if there isn't a reason to change the name now, just in case there becomes a reason to change the name, what would the consensus new name be?
Yeah, from a CPB standpoint, though,
Okay.
there's nothing to worry about yet.
Okay,
I'll just say that.
yet.
And it's a historical example of resistance is no preemptive compliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name isn't the hill to die on.
Make me.
Yeah.
If we were talking about not doing the work,
Right,
I'm with you.
right.
But the name is not the hill to die on. Why did we pick that name? We picked that name because lots of people were using DEI at the time and it seemed pretty innocent.
Right.
No other reason.
Mhm.
No other reason. It's not unique to WORT at all.
No, but it also isn't a trigger for our audience, our donors, our fans to hear that word or to
Yeah.
hear that
I'm
initial
not worried
lesson,
about our audience.
right? And I'm not
Well,
worried about our donor base not donating to us because we have a DEI committee, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, I don't see the reason to change it at this point. If it comes down to our federal funding, that's a different story.
Right. But
But if-
actually, our donors might donate to us more
I was gonna
because we
say,
still
I'd worry if we
call it
changed that.
a
It's
DEI
on-
committee.
Imagine if Trump
This
started
could
saying.
be a great
he said the
discussion
word
at committee.
federal
Committee.
Yeah,
We're
so,
gonna have a great
so there's the
discussion.
stuff to
Yeah.
do. for the committee.
There-
We have to take the committee, but, both to recommend whether or not to change it but also have the discussion on what a good alternate name would be if we knew a new name. I think that's what the board would like the committee to do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because sometimes the
Jeff?
resistance goes
Yeah.
underground.
I wanted to say there is a reason we chose DEI. The name was significant. It meant something to people. It still means things to people. So when we choose a new name, I hope it's a good name, but there's a reason for that.
But we didn't invent the name. The name.
No,
was-
we didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, we adopted the name that everyone else was using for this work.
Right. That's what I
Exactly.
meant.
That was
That's
just.
what I meant.
Okay.
Okay, we got consensus on this point? Okay. What else we got? Okay, programming committee report. There's a programming committee report. Anything?
Yeah, this is Julia. I linked that up there kind of as a liaison document for our two meetings. So yeah, not a ton to talk on. There's full details in there. We did meet with the Hmong radio folks, and just interviewed them, which was very insightful. Again, full notes are in there. We're discussing the swap or switch or just adjustment between Hmong radio and Best of Gospel. So just continuing to talk through that. And I know that near, let's see, if you are opening that document, near the bottom of the document, a takeaway that I had from the board to bring to the programming committee was to take a look at our show vetting process and have a reminder, bring a reminder to the board on what that looks like. So that is a line item that we have for discussion. We haven't discussed it in full quite yet. One thing I did want to say though is Stu, I think it was you, but someone had mentioned that they had a colleague who submitted a request for a show and never heard back.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to recommend, well, I wanted to say that that request wasn't seen. So just I would recommend having that friend follow up with the appropriate director, depending on the type of request that it was, to check in on that. So I just had a
Mhm.
follow up on that. And that's about what I have in there. Full details if anyone has questions are in the document.
Any questions of Julia on programming? Okay, thank you, Julia.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say about personnel?
I don't think so. We mostly kind of process the retreat, so which we've done again. So I don't think we need to go through that anymore.
Okay, yeah,
I got an elections thing.
okay, let me just go to policies and bylaws. Policies and bylaws is so close to being done with the volunteer handbook. Phil made some really exceptionally productive editing comments at the last meeting, and we are really close. We're going to have one more meeting, and then we have a timeline established that we will have the document to the board by our meeting of April. We will have, it's going to go out to the volunteers for their review by early to mid-March. It's going to get to the board by April. We will have an adopted volunteer handbook in time for the annual meeting in June.
Yay.
It has taken us a long time, but it's going to be a hell of a work product. Shali is going to be doing some layout design to make it a readable document as opposed to just text. It's just been a really productive conversation, and I'm looking forward to a successful conclusion very shortly. Yeah, Doug.
Yeah, I guess my question is for personnel. If you see once this is finalized, I'm just wondering if you have on your radar to translate it into a revised employee handbook, which would need to contain additional things not covered in the volunteer handbook. But the current employee handbook that we have, I know for certain is severely outdated.
So this is the first time hearing of it. We can certainly,
Yeah.
I'm not saying the
Yeah,
fact that you're saying it's severely outdated.
it doesn't come up a
is a
lot because we
concern.
don't have a lot of staff turnover.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
But
But still, it's
and-
nice to have an accurate document.
right, and when
The
we
answer is
hire a
yes.
full-time employee, we have the contract.
Yeah.
right. So
So the contract kind of has everything in it.
Yeah.
But the former personnel policies for staff, including part-time, kind of gleaned some of the language
Yeah.
from the contract because some of it does apply, some of it
Yeah.
doesn't apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I'd be happy to give input on that because I have a really good knowledge
that's
of where the
I'd like to
differences
go,
are.
Yeah.
Doug, I think, because I would feel like I was shooting in the dark if
Yeah.
I looked at
Right.
the employee handbook, even though I'm chair of personnel committee, and started suggesting revisions.
Right.
I don't
and
want to
you-
do that.
I got
Yeah.
that.
And
I got
additionally,
that.
there were
Yeah.
board motions that were approved, that gave additional benefits to part-time employees, like the 3% annual increase and the personal time off. Those never made it into an employee handbook.
Okay.
Okay.
So like those have been kind of word of mouth passed on to part-time staff. So
Can you start preparing a document for personnel to begin the process of making those changes?
as far as what applies to part-time people only, because the rest of it's in the contract.
Then what applies
Yeah.
to part-time? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Well, and then
we're-
maybe we should specifically call it that too,
part-time personnel policies
or part-time personnel handbook, whatever.
or whatever.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Overton
yeah.
just re-put out its handbook and it has
Yeah,
a
yeah.
section on full-time.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something that we're missing right now.
We're totally in
And
the dark on that.
even knowing where the lines are between full and part-time staff, like what benefits are universal, which ones are
Are you going past you?
not. Yeah,
Going past
so
yes.
no, I'm just offering my
No,
help.
no,
Yes,
no,
please.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and
So-
I wanna work
so
with-
thank you.
We've been in the dark about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
yeah,
And I have recent experience going over things that are legal and not legal, so
Okay.
I can help with that.
very good.
Perfect,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Laura,
So now I'm confused. Are we talking about an employee handbook and a part-time employee handbook? Are there two different documents?
Personnel manual.
Or
No, we're
where
talking
does
about-
this,
Well, we're talking about a manual for paid staff.
Yeah.
okay, where does this exist?
It does not exist, and that's the problem.
Okay,
And
All right.
like there's pieces of the union contract that were gleaned to kind of make one, but it's not accurate. It's not, and it's not complete.
board approved?
Or, well, right, the individual motions were approved, like the 3%
Yeah.
It
increase.
doesn't live in one place. It's
Okay.
not.
Right, it's all in pieces and it
Right,
needs to be in
pieces
one
of
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to
So,
be able to introduce that to
Doug, I
people
mean,
as
if you
well.
want to communicate one-on-one, or you want to do some work and send it to me, however you want to work, because
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't even
can-
know where to start, to be honest with you.
so
I
is,
do.
but
Good,
does
yeah.
a document
Good,
that
so I'm
you've
welcoming
Hang on,
whatever,
Laura, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm welcoming whatever input you have, and we'll take it from there.
Right, and I think keeping in the spirit of what's been put out there in the past, I would still take the union contract as a starting
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of what's in there
Yeah.
is applicable to
Right,
part-time
of
staff.
course.
And then we can glean from there and add the sections needed that are
And it's
only
just-
applicable to
Great.
part-time
You
staff.
start the process. you start
I'm
the
happy to do
personnel.
that because I'm fully versed in all of our
Thank you,
HR
Doug.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Laura,
I think I understand now. This document does not exist, has never existed, right? Doug?
Not to my knowledge.
we
I-
had
Okay,
personnel
I was
policies.
confused by the way that you brought it up.
The last time I saw, the last document I saw was from 2003.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
really something that I wanted to review when we were doing.
And a lot
reviews.
of those things referred to paper processes that don't exist anymore and don't have the online element that's needed as well.
Bless
Then
you.
I-
So we've got a new assignment for personnel committee. So thank you for that. Somebody else? Oh, elections.
Shannon Hebler has made it to our board of directors, and because the next thing that the committee needs to do is our July elections, where I and Stu and Laura Wood have been racing. I am recusing myself as chairman of elections for that purpose. Shannon has joined the committee.
No,
which is-
Sharon is being appointed to the.
being appointed.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Shazam.
So, does that mean you're running for reelection?
And that
Yeah,
means I'm running for
next
reelection.
year.
Right, it's because I gave a year to.
Because if you weren't, then you wouldn't
Yeah.
need to recuse yourself,
Right.
Yes. My intention is to run.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
great and welcome,
Okay.
just
No,
clarifying.
Shannon is now on elections.
yeah.
He's on elections and DEI and
Finance.
finance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Elections will be a breeze.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Okay, anything else on election? No, there's nothing else on elections. We've already had the election. You got elected. There's nothing to do.
Oh, I guess the only other thing is that our application window will open on April 15th
Okay,
for our June board election.
okay.
The seats up are yours, Dan's, and Laura's.
Yeah.
Um,
And
prob-
Laura, am I correct that you are stepping down?
I think I need to.
Yeah, that was my impression your
Um,
health issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to reiterate what I've said frequently, just what a incredibly productive and valuable board member you've been, what a great executive committee member you've been, and we appreciate your service, and we understand that you need to do what you need to do, but we're going to miss you.
Agreed.
Thank you. I think I'm going to try to hang on to a committee membership or two. So I'll be around.
Anything
Sweet.
you're prepared to do, you'll be more than welcome.
Here, here.
You're here.
It's been great
Okay.
working with you all, by the way.
Thank you,
Um,
Laura.
I put Susan took some very comprehensive notes on the task force on the future, which I put in the folder. And there's no real action item at this time. I think we got the process underway, and Shali, if Shali is still here, Shali came up with both Susan and then Shali came up with a very productive assignment for everybody to accept the responsibility that if they're ever proposing any initiative that they identify, who will be responsible for it, what it will cost, what it will entail, what the benefits are, so that people aren't just coming up with the, oh, I think we should, just hypothetically, I think we should video stream all talk shows.
All of them.
And well, okay, we'll explain how that would work, who would do it, yada, yada, yada.
Are you
So,
donating the money?
so I thought that was a very productive suggestion by Shali, and I think we're off to a start. Yes, Shali.
Right. That's sort of what I said, but and maybe I was unclear in that meeting, but I also think I communicated that folks should do that for the next meeting in general. They should bring one example. Everyone has a reason that they're there. So to get in the habit, everyone on that task force has homework for something they'd like to see at the station. They got to look at a test case. Maybe I didn't make that clear in the meeting, and I can send an email. I thought that's where we landed, along with staff preparing reports about where we are along those 4 kind of main items as part of the mission of the task force.
Just
Okay.
have one,
Yeah.
I think maybe typographical question. So the meeting looks like it happened on the 10th and it says next meeting on the 13th, which would have been 6 days ago. Was there another meeting or was
Of
that,
March.
is that a typo?
March.
It says February. Again, I read these things, so great. It's being changed as we speak. Great.
Nice
Thank you.
catch.
Nice.
I mean, those were extensive minutes. If she
They were very
wrote the-
extensive.
if she-
Not, it's easy to make a minor mistake. I just
Okay.
caught it because the
Okay.
13th would
Okay.
have been a quick meeting
Thank you
right
for that
after.
clarification.
just
And
wondered.
today's the
Um,
19th.
Okay, and as I mentioned when Jeff was here, that invitation has gone out to all volunteers as well, and we have non-board, non-staff on the task force as well. So anybody who's interested is more than welcome. Shali, is your hand still up or just a new point?
Sorry.
Okay.
There you go.
So I recommend Susan's minutes, which are almost a transcript of the conversation, which I thought was very, very productive. I thought we're off to a reasonably good start, and I apologize for taking so long to get it convened. But now that we're, and my hope is that we will have at least some preliminary comments to bring back within a couple of months. We're not going to have a final report by the June target that I originally envisioned, but I think we'll have at least something to give us a sense of where we're moving. Phil.
I was just wondering, Susan had mentioned during the meeting that there is a form that she would like people to use for proposals. And I don't believe I've seen that form.
Jolly, can you address that point?
Noted. I'll follow up with the task force.
Thank you. And then is that Susan up in the upper left-hand corner? Susan?
I
Still
don't think
muted.
she's here. Maybe it's me.
No, I know.
No, it's me. I was just gonna
That's you,
say,
okay.
The form that we were talking about, I thought was the form that Jeff gave us for.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
I'm sorry,
Have
Susan.
you guys not seen the form that Jeff gave the staff for how to evaluate a new project?
Yes, we have.
That's the one, that's the form.
That's not what I was suggesting, Susan. So, I'm open to it, but that's not what I was suggesting at the meeting.
Then my notes are incorrect, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. How about I just email the task force and we can take care of this outside of the board meeting?
We can just do it at the next task force meeting.
Well, I think it'd be more productive to have it before that.
Okay.
Charlie will communicate with the task force and we'll get it straightened out. Okay. Anybody have any other questions or comments about that or about the task force activities? Nobody, okay. Any old business? God, we dealt with the staff retreat. I mean,
Done. Completely
We
done.
Did it.
How about
We
that?
did it.
Anything else? There's no reason to go into we have no personnel matters to go into closed session for. Any other business to come before us? So you're gonna stick around?
Yeah,
Okay.
happy to have you. like fun
Well,
group.
with that, if there's nothing else to come before us,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
okay,
Run away.
all those in favor say aye.
Bye.
Thank you. And thank all of
Sound like
the,
Monty Python.
and thank everyone for online.
They're always in my head.
Is there any reason before we close this to save the chat? Sometimes people have been wanting to save the chats.
Yes, and yeah, since there's stuff that we didn't get recorded, why don't we save the chat? Because it may clue us into some things that we missed recording.